Welcome to the Clarity Confidence Connection Summit, where badass women break through barriers and unlock their next level of success. Your host, Candace McKim, is a renowned intuitive business coach, #1 international best-selling author, TEDx speaker, and the inspiring host of a podcast/TV show. With her vibrant approach, Candace empowers women to align with their true purpose, elevate their spiritually led businesses, and attract wealth through proven methods. Her teachings foster profound transformation and impactful growth. Co-creator of this summit, Candace is eager to introduce another inspirational guest. Take it away, Candace.
Welcome. Woohoo! I am excited about this next guest and this next topic. We are going to be really diving into some juicy stuff. I am here with Tenya Eickenberg. Unlock your self-compassion while on your healing journey. Welcome, Tenya.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm so excited that you're here. All right, let me introduce you properly. So Tenya Eickenberg is a certified life, self-care, and spiritual coach who helps women release emotional baggage and find strength, freedom, and happiness. Hell yes. She discovered healing energy, a reliable method of releasing tension and living a more positive and fulfilling life after traditional treatment methods failed to help her with depression and anxiety. I really believe we're really going to get so much value out of this for everybody because, I don't know many people who don't experience or haven't experienced at some point in life, some point in time in their lives, depression and anxiety. So welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so tell us how you were led on your journey. I know I read your bio, but just tell us a little bit more of your story and how you've been, guided on this path. And what
my journey really started probably when I was about 7 or 8 years old. When, in looking back, that is probably about when my anxiety and depression kind of started to come up in my life. My mom is diagnosed as being bipolar, and so she had a lot of her own mental illness to deal with while us kids were growing up. So we never really learned to process our emotions, to talk about our emotions. And over, teenage years and growing up and becoming an adult, I would just push stuff away because it was just easier to push it away. It's what I knew how to do in order to get on with life. And in 2018, my husband and I had the opportunity to purchase our forever home right off of the water. And it should have been an extremely happy time for us. All 3 of our kids had graduated. And so we got this great opportunity. And moving into that home, I realized that I had more anxiety coming up. I had more depression coming up. And I thought maybe it was related to my mom. Maybe it was related to my twins graduating and becoming somewhat empty nesters and just kind of trying to figure out what is my role now. And again, I just kind of pushed it off to the side, no, this is a great time. We're not even going to deal with that right now. Mm-hmm. And it really started to turn its ugly head during COVID. I was lucky enough that I wasn't one of the ones who had to stay home and work. I actually got to get out because I was an essential worker at the time. But there was still something else going on. And so I took those traditional routes that I knew how to take, right? I called a doctor through my insurance because everything was telehealth. And I met with a doctor that I didn't know, talked to him for about 15 minutes about what I was feeling, what I had been on before as far as medications go. And he's like, okay, well, let's try that again. We'll just try that again. It's 15 minutes and here's a prescription. I'll see you back here in 6 to 8 weeks. We'll see how you're doing. And I was like, okay, so there's still something else that I need to talk about, but I don't know what it is. So I hired a talk therapist and again, didn't know her, had no referral as far as nobody going to see her and having reviews, right?
Right.
And started seeing this therapist, and the first 2 or 3 sessions were just talking about my past and what I thought that this was around. And then by the 5th session, it was well, here's an app for CBT training. Download this app, practice it, and then we'll talk about it next session. And I was like, 6 sessions into it, I'm like, I'm not getting anywhere. Like I wanted this stuff to just be gone. I didn't want to survive with it anymore. And I was sitting there at my computer, I was in tears, and I was like, I just want something that's going to get rid of this.
Yeah.
And so I did a Google search, emotional holistic healing, because I was more into the natural stuff. I didn't want to be on medication. And this modality called the emotion code popped up. And I was a huge skeptic. I was the emotion code.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's this technique of releasing trapped emotions to allow your body to heal naturally, because our bodies are able to heal, but there's always this stuff that's going on in them that we may not even know about.
Right.
And I was like, okay, so this was put in my path for a reason. Let me research it. So I started researching it, went to a couple different practitioners, and felt amazing after those sessions. And I was like, I got to learn more. So with it being COVID, they had a discount on their webinar. I joined the webinar. By the end of the webinar, I was going to get my certification. And it wasn't because I wanted to help everybody in the world. It was because I wanted to learn how to do it for myself so I could help my family.
Yeah.
And fast forward about 2 or 3 months, and learning the emotion code and their second level, which is the body code, I had healed myself about 80% of my anxiety and depression. But there was still something missing.
Okay.
There was still something there that was not clicking. And that's when I started to find different aspects of self-care. Meditation, journaling, self-compassion, setting boundaries. And within 2 or 3 months of adding those things into my daily routine, I was 100% healed. I was no longer on medication. I no longer needed talk therapy.
Yeah.
And I would wake up just like excited for the day. Like, what is this day going to bring me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was something that I had not felt, that I could never remember feeling before. Even when my children were born, there was still not that joy that I was feeling in that moment when I realized. And I remember it was December 17th. I woke up and I'm like, I am so freaking happy.
I get
and
it.
I never felt like that before.
Yeah, I know. Like, there's that cloud that, like when you're, even when you're in joyous things, there's still that little bit of a cloud, right? That's over the head.
Right.
But then when you move through it, I love this. I love what you're saying, because that's my background. Is I have a degree in social work, and I became a yoga therapist and chakra therapist, and marrying together the talk therapy with the body, mind, spirit. So I'm loving this. I know exactly what you're talking about. All right. So what are your tips on how to unlock the self-compassion while on your healing journey? What are some of the tips that you can share?
The first tip is that we need to understand what self-compassion is. We grow up being told that we need to have compassion for others. We need to have compassion for those that are in distress, but we're never taught to have compassion for ourselves, especially when we're going through a healing journey, when we realize that there's things about us that we need to address, and those things are not being healed as quickly as we want them to be. Because time is such a human construct that we always put a timetable. Okay, well, I'm going to be healed by this time, or I'm going to get over this, and I'm going to be, done with it by this time.
Yeah.
And if anybody is on their healing journey or has completed it, they know that even though you think you've healed something, there still may be a little bit of something underneath of there that's going to come up when something triggers you. And so when you don't have that self-compassion for yourself, you start getting those thoughts of, I'm not enough. I can't do this. This is too hard. But then when you think about that self-compassion as well, it throws you into that, am I being selfish? Am I putting too much emphasis on myself and not enough emphasis on other people? And so you start to pull away from yourself again, because you don't have that self-compassion for yourself.
especially as women, right? God, we've been just so gaslighted our whole lifetimes, right? That,
Hmm.
it's selfish to look after yourself. And my definition of selfishness is not doing what somebody else wants us to do, right? So
Right,
I'm being selfish if I'm
right,
not doing what everybody else wants me to do. So who's really being selfish here, right? But
right,
women just take it
right.
on so much, and it's just it's heartbreaking, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it really is. So understanding what self-compassion means for you, I think, is the first step, because self-compassion can mean a little bit different for everybody else. But in the whole, it means just having kindness for yourself
Mm,
and showing yourself that, it's okay if you're not um at the same timetable as somebody else, because somebody else might feel like they're higher, they're healing faster than you are, although you don't know how long they've been on that healing journey. And I dealt with that a lot early on in my healing journey. It was like, well, I see all these other practitioners that are doing so wonderfully, they seem so happy, and
mm.
I wasn't on the same timetable. I
Right.
wasn't on their journey, I was on my journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So figuring out what self-compassion is for you is definitely, I think, the first step.
I love it. And I like that you're putting it into their hands. What does that mean for
Right.
you? Like, I'm not going to tell you
Right.
what it is. I want you to really explore it for yourself, because what is going to feed you and your soul. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And
that's really great, Tina. Yeah, I love
yeah. And the one of the ways you can get there is by journaling.
it. Okay.
Journaling about what self-compassion means for you, what you've been told about self-compassion.
Mhm.
Um, and there, the second tip is to understand that your views on your self-compassion comes from the adults that you were around growing up. It comes from your teachers, it comes from media, it comes from your parents, for generations and generations. Even men don't have self-compassion for themselves during their healing journey, or at all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think men take care of themselves as much as they should.
No,
In
no.
fact, I think they probably push it away more, because a lot of the techniques to to through your healing journey are really like girly,
Feminine,
according
feminine
to what
energy.
you look up. Right? If you look up journaling prompts, and you look up the images that go with journaling prompts, they're all pink and pretty, and not a lot of them are geared towards men.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think just people in general have a hard time having that self-compassion for themselves. So
Yeah.
journaling would be my second tip, is journal about what do you need self-compassion around? Where do you need to find that support? Because I think support is very important. Can you get that support from your family? Can you get it from your friends? Or do you need to get it from a third party? Right? Because you're going to go through your healing journey and you're going to hit a wall and you're going to be like, I don't know what to do. And
Yeah.
that's when you need to start looking for more tools on what's going to help you.
Yeah, and I really agree. Like, we need that support. We all need that support, right?
Yeah.
Depending, it doesn't matter where you are on your healing journey, right? We all need that support, a coach or a healer or energy worker, somebody to support us as we're moving through that. All right, so I just
Yeah.
dropped that into the chat. So journal, what do you need self-compassion around, and do you need support? Is that
Right.
right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think the answer is yes, everybody needs support. It's just, what kind of support is it that you need?
Mhm.
And I think we first need to support ourselves. Again, we first need to try to figure out why we don't have compassion for ourselves. Now, we can go back through our childhood and say, I don't have self-compassion because, well, I didn't see my mom having self-compassion for herself. I
Mhm.
heard my mom put herself down all the time,
Mhm.
and that probably came from her parents.
Yeah.
And so, and if we know anything about energy, we know that these things can be passed down through our DNA. So who knows how far back this block against having self-compassion goes. And I
Yeah.
think that's where where energy healing can come in and can be such a great catalyst for that is because it can help to find where some of those energetic things are coming from. Are they coming from 7 generations back?
Yeah. And journaling is where you go on that journey, like where you go into that self-discovery, right? And for me, I like to set a timer when I journal. What are some of the tricks and tools you use? And then I'll share mine for journaling.
So yeah, definitely. If you're just starting out, set a time to journal, because journaling is not something that comes naturally to most people. I know for me, it took a long time for me to be comfortable with journaling because I had somebody invade my diary as a child. And so because of that, I didn't want to journal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you have a hard time journaling, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're having a hard time journaling, get a journal that you feel safe using. And if it means you feel safe using one with a buckle on it, then get one with a buckle on it. If you feel safe sticking it under your mattress when you're done, do that. Whatever makes you feel safe to share your thoughts. The other one would be
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
One of the things that I recommend is, if you're new to journaling, is set a timer to do it for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and then write down this question. What do I need self-compassion around? And I just put like I said, I set the timer for 15 minutes and I write the question, and then I'll keep writing the question until the answers start to come. And then I just free form. Like I just write for 15 minutes, and then the timer goes. And then if I feel like I need to keep writing, I can, but it's just a great way just to let the healing come. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I like that. I like that idea.
And I love these prompts. They're really, really powerful prompts. Okay. So what's number 3?
So the third tip would be how to gain some self-compassion for yourself through just talking with yourself. So we have journaling, but also talk out loud to yourself. And, you might feel silly doing this at first because you think, oh, somebody might hear me. So go on a walk or take yourself into the bathroom and start the shower. Do it during the shower. But sometimes you have to voice, why do I, what is it that I need self-compassion around, especially for myself? And you might find that you need to have more self-compassion around yourself when you have those triggers that come up, that is triggering something that you thought that you got over, or a memory comes up. You're like, I had thought about that in years, but why do I need self-compassion around this?
Yeah.
Pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to print that might come up in your awareness, is saying, just pay attention to your body. Pay attention to the signals that it's giving you, and definitely pay attention to the thoughts that are coming across your heart to really kind of dive into. And you might not have to dive very deep to figure out what it is that you need that self-compassion around, but just understand that when you're on your healing journey, that it's important to be kind to yourself, to speak to yourself with impeccability, be kind, say what you want to say, think what you want to think, but turn it into a more optimistic thought.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you saying is that by saying it out loud, pay attention to how your body responds. Is that what you're saying? So if you're in the shower, you're out for a walk, you got the headphones in, people think you're on the phone. Right? Because I always talk on the phone when I'm walking. And so you can, I think it's perfectly fine to talk out loud while you're walking now. Right. And as you're doing that, then paying attention to your body in what way, like where it might be feeling, how, what are we saying?
Yeah. So let's say you're talking to yourself, you're like, I'm not good enough to heal. Right. You might be thinking, I'm not good enough to be who I want to be. Like, I don't know how to get there. And figure out, where are you feeling that in your body? Are your shoulders falling forward when you think about that? Or are they coming back? Are you feeling back pain? Or, do all of a sudden, do you trip over a rock? or just pay attention to those little signs that are coming up, because that's going to tell you that maybe this is what I really do need to focus. Why do I feel like I'm not enough to heal? Why do I feel like I'm not worthy of healing?
Yeah.
And then it might come up that you're afraid of who you might be if you let all of that stuff go that you need to let go of so you can heal.
Yeah. 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 I love that. I love that so much. So what I'm getting from you is your message is so different in that you're not allowing people to spiritually bypass. You're not going to your happy place without doing the inner work and doing the hard work to get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're not
And
putting
you
a
have to
Band-Aid
do,
on this situation.
no. And you have to do, I'm a strong believer in, you have to do not just the conscious work, the thinking, the thought process, but you also have to figure out what energetic work you need to do.
Mhm.
You know, it may not be my tools that is going to help you. It may be your tools, or it may be somebody else's tools. But do that digging and figure out, what is it that I need to help my energy heal? Because our bodies are just our meat suits.
Yeah. And watching those signs and taking action. Like you had the emotions code come across, your Google search or whatever, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll go here. And then, like following those signs, because that's
right.
That there's reasons those are coming to you, like you said.
Right. Yeah. I could have said, oh no, that'll never work, and kept scrolling down the page, and who knows where I'd be right now.
Yeah, exactly. And how many times have we done that? But when it really hits, it's like, okay, tell everybody about your gift, your free gift that they can get right now. They can get it right.
So my free gift right now is a healing meditation around clearing your heart wall, which can block us from being able to feel and experience love from others, and also send it out. So it's just a healing meditation. I think it's about 15 or 20 minutes long. The more you listen to it, the more healing you're going to get from it.
Okay, I love it. So people, you can click, everybody who's watching now or watching the replay, it'll be in the show notes. You can just click directly here right now, and it'll open up another browser. And so you can have it on your desktop or whatever you're on, your whatever, and get it afterwards and listen to it over and over again. So what is your VIP gift?
So the VIP gift is 6 more of those meditations around self-compassion.
Wow.
And you'll get one a week, because I feel like if you listen to them like one every day for 6 days, that it'd be a lot of energy work. And so therefore you might feel very tired. But you get 6 more over a 6-week time that will be delivered directly to your email.
Okay. And it's called Clear the Energies That Are Blocking You from Self-Compassion While on Your Healing Journey. I love that you work with one for a week and heal that area, and then you get the next one for the next week. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Last words of wisdom for everybody.
You are worth spending your time on, whether it's self-care, cooking yourself a meal. Spend time on yourself every day, just like you brush your teeth, but make sure it's a deliberate action, and make sure that it's something that does make you feel good and fills up your cup, because you can't, this old saying, you cannot fill someone else's cup unless you fill yours first. So spend that time on yourself, even if you have to get up a little bit earlier or stay up a little bit later to do that.
Yeah, you're getting lots of love in the chat. I really hear you saying that. And so the VIP gift, you can go and grab the VIP gift, sign up for that right now, and you'll get the series. You can go into your VIP portal. If you don't have VIP, grab your VIP upgrade now. And thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Tenya Eickenberg. I want to say your name again because I got it right. This was really fantastic. This was really, really great.
Thank you.
Everybody got so much value out of it. And so make sure you go and grab those gifts right away. And getting ready for my next talk.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for another amazing session on the Clarity Confidence Connection Summit. Be sure to mark your calendars to join us in Hawaii from November 2nd through the 5th for our premier in-person experience. If you have any questions or want to apply to be a speaker at one of our upcoming events, email our team at breakthrough@clarityconfidenceconnection.com.